What's going on, guys? Welcome to Everything Always. My name is Michael Roman, aka Allfires. Now, the huge news just about a month ago was that Avengers Doomsday first trailer might actually be released before the end of the year, and as we explained during our coverage of that video, it was all aimed at putting the very first look at Avengers Doomsday in front of one of the biggest box offices left this year, and probably between now and when Doomsday comes out in the next installment for the Avatar franchise. Well, if Marvel and Disney planned on doing that with Doomsday, today has a super curious update, and coming from one of the trusted sources in trailer breaking news, apparently the Spider-Man Brand New Day trailer is getting the exact same treatment. We're going to break down where this came from, what they exactly said, and talk about whether or not Marvel and Disney would actually attach both of their trailers for their 2026 releases in this early before the release dates at that. We're breaking it all down, but first, if you could grab the subscribe button. We do daily Marvel content at the channel. That's all we do. Thanks to everyone who's been helping grow the channel at an insane pace, and if you haven't already, I would just kindly invite you to do so. Hitting the sub button is the #1 thing you can do to support us as a channel, plus it'll enter you for all the giveaways. Just be a sub, leave a comment on the video, stick around at the end of the video, we get into all the giveaway stuff again there. Okay, so this latest bombshell revelation comes from the source Trailer Track Online. You can follow them on Twitter under that same handle. We have covered them before at the channel multiple times over the last 4 or 5 years, and while no scoopster or source has a 100% track record, they do have a track record established of scooping information about trailers. That being said, in response to speculation about Spider-Man Brand New Day's trailer coming out at the Super Bowl, this is what they had to say in a retweet. Hearing rumblings that it might be sooner and in front of Avatar Fire and Ash, just a teaser like the Odyssey. He then went on to clarify, when it comes to Avengers Doomsday, also getting a teaser in front of Avatar Fire and Ash, it's possible as reported earlier this month. Now, as skeptical as I am that Marvel Studios would attach both of these trailers, one of which would be a full year early, Avatar Fire and Ash, outside of the Odyssey, Spider-Man Brand New Day, and between now and Avengers Doomsday, is most likely going to be the biggest surefire box office. As I've admitted, I've never been more wrong thinking Avatar 2 was not going to perform well at the box office. I wasn't sure anybody was still interested in the franchise. Again, boy was I off base. Considering how well number 2 did, and the fact that number 3 is coming out during the holiday season and worldwide, the projections are off the charts and possibly the biggest box office before Avengers Doomsday. That's why I can clearly see Sony, Marvel, Disney looking at this as an opportunity, or maybe one of the last good opportunities, to advertise for both of these films. And so where it seems a little odd that they would want to kick up marketing this early and then simultaneously Spider-Man Avengers Doomsday, one 6 months early, one a year early, but putting them out at the same time, it might also be the case that they don't look at the box office the same way, considering what the numbers have been throughout the Multiverse saga. And what I specifically mean by that is, I find it very hard to believe in my heart that Avengers Doomsday and Spider-Man Brand New Day wouldn't each break the $1 billion mark. Deadpool and Wolverine did easily. The Avengers franchise just has way more cachet than, say, a lot of the other projects they leaned on during the Multiverse saga. And Spider-Man, well, it's Spider-Man. But there are a lot of factors at play here. First of which, it would be naive to say that the landscape at Marvel Studios hasn't changed and throughout the Multiverse saga. It certainly has, and in response to what are perceived failures for movies coming up short or not being profitable. Speaking of which, it would also be naive to say that that isn't something pervasive across the entire film industry, as box office numbers are pretty much down across the board. Of course, there are standouts for good films that come out and perform, but there are a lot of other films that usually would have been profitable, say 10 years ago, but simply can't turn a buck now, considering how expensive everything is and the competition for people's attention, which, considering going to the movies and during the holiday season, especially around Christmas, is still a thing. That's one thing that Avatar and Fire and Ash has going for it, and another real draw for why they'd want to put their first teasers in front of it. The third thing is that the conversation surrounding the superhero genre as a whole has definitely taken a couple of turns around the Multiverse saga. Some of the criticism that's been levied against the MCU and some of their projects has definitely been warranted. On top of that, some general talk of fatigue. And so again, where Marvel Studios would have said, sure, Spider-Man, Avengers Doomsday, we can do whatever we want with the marketing, they're going to make $1 billion. And I would contest that deep in my heart, I still believe most of that's okay. They can basically do whatever they want. People are still going to go see these films. The guys who run these things are not looking at it the same. They're looking at the bottom line, and they want the first teaser trailers in front of people, which means Avatar: Fire and Ash, The Odyssey, and then Spider-Man for Avengers Doomsday teaser. Well, they don't want to miss any opportunities in order to get hype going so that they can sell more tickets and make sure that Spider-Man and Avengers Doomsday crosses the $1 billion mark. I am surprised though, a year out for anything from Marvel is quite the ask. No matter how quote-unquote teaser that each of these are, when comparing it to The Odyssey, that is not much footage at all. In fact, it literally could just be a couple of frames of Tom Holland, a couple of frames with Robert Downey Jr. talking off screen as Dr. Doom, and then recycle some of the old Marvel footage, splash the title screen, say like 45 seconds, something very quick, but at least puts it in the minds of moviegoers, hey, this time next year, come back and see Avengers Doomsday. Or, hey, remember, this summer, we've got another Spider-Man movie coming out. Now, most likely the case, even if they do this, 2 small teasers, Spider-Man and Avengers Doomsday, we still have all of next year for them to have to space the marketing out for Spider-Man Brand New Day and then for Avengers Doomsday. Admittedly, a lot of the huge advertising opportunities throughout the year come earlier in the year, and it would seem like Spider-Man is more in line to get those. I'm talking about the National Football Championship. I'm talking about the Super Bowl, where Marvel Studios, of course, maxed out Deadpool and Wolverine by counting all the Super Bowl viewers in the first 24-hour views. I can't see why they wouldn't want to do that for Avengers Doomsday, but Marvel has always been really, really good about separating their marketing to allow the projects to each have their own moment. And so Spider-Man Brand New Day getting a teaser trailer attached to Avatar: Fire and Ash instead of Doomsday, to me, seems like a more logical play. But shoot, if we get both of them, I won't be complaining. Guys, let me know all your thoughts, though, down below in the comments about any and all of this. Do you agree with me that both of these titles are surefire $1 billion still, even in the current landscape of the zeitgeist, etc.? Or are there some of you who think, hey, you know, Spider-Man won't be $1 billion film because of how well No Way Home did, or Avengers Doomsday can't reach $1 billion because they just haven't invested in the characters enough to make anybody care? I'm all ears as always. Quickly, let's get into the giveaway stuff before I let you go. All right. Still giving away PS5s at the channel. Also going to be doing a ton of giveaways throughout the holiday season, and on some of my other social media accounts, we're going to be giving away a ton of Visa gift cards in the multiple thousands. So stay tuned for that. But in the meantime, if you want to be entered to win here, all you got to do, hit the sub button, leave a comment down below because it's truly random. The more videos you comment on, the better chance you have of winning. Make sure to hit the notification bell with all notifications turned on if you want to keep up with the videos. And of course, if you like today's video, I'd appreciate it if you'd hit the like button. My name's Michael Roman. Find me on Instagram and Twitter at IamFires. Find me on all other platforms with original music under the name Allfires. And if you want to see my band live or come and meet me, I will be doing a casual meet and greet when doors open at 7:30 on November 15th, where my band is playing outside of Tampa in Clearwater. Tickets are extremely cheap. They're extremely limited, and they're starting to sell fast. So if you're in the area, if you want to come say hi, check us out. Link down in the description and comments. I hope to see you there. For the rest of you, I'll see you in the next video.